Okay, let's see if we can actually do something today, in spite of the horrendous heat. I'm not going to do, let's see, you the stuffed up one or you the working one? Hmm. Hey Matthew, Ashes. You are the stuffed up one. Hey, game music. And you're the not stuffed up one. So we're working on you. You can take a hike. Yep, Jack's back. Hey, Metaman. I just realized I really need to put down some UV cure on that before I go ahead of anything else. What have I done with my glue? I had my glue just last night because I was fixing up one of the laptops. Gosh darn it. There it is. Hidden as always. Hey Greg. Should be asleep. Yeah, well, you know, goodness knows how many times I've said that too. Plenty of times it's been approaching 4 o'clock in the morning and next minute I get a ping and it's like, oh look, Lewis or Jessa or Chris is on stream, and then it's like, gotta stay up. It used to be really bad about a year ago when I just started watching Lewis. I'd be intently watching everything he did. I reckon my wife was starting to get a little intolerant of it. Can't blame her. Well, this is a obviously, as most of you worked out, this is an iPhone 5. I'm just trying to see if I can get this one to come back to life. I took this one in quite a while. Oh, damn it. Didn't mean for that to happen. Quite a while ago, from a customer who ended up upgrading to like a 5S or something like that. This was back before I had my microscope equipment and I couldn't do Tristars. Not that I willingly do iPhone 5 Tristars. iPad rehabs was just an upload, I think. I don't think it was a live stream at all. So, because I got that fairly quickly last night for iPad. But then straight away I could see it, well, it seemed like it was a upload only. It wasn't a live stream. Yeah, I better cure that since that is not an air cure. I should about do it. Now I've got to wait a couple of minutes. I don't know why I've got a bit of a flickering there because this is set to 50 hertz on the camera, so it beats me. Perfect timing. Need something to distract me from my first 6 plus error. Yeah, have fun with that. I haven't tried any of those. I've got a iPhone 6 that I did a Wi-Fi, pardon me, fix on. Had a short. That's all working now, but now I've got a -1 restore error, so I've replaced the baseband, or I've redone the baseband about 3 times now. It's still doing it, so I guess the baseband power management chip's next. It was a live stream, it caught the tail end. I'm surprised I didn't get a notice of that then. Alright, maybe you have a point. I'm not sure how long I'm going to leave this UV lamp on. So here we are, 2018. I finally got my act together and put up something that partially resembles a mail-in order form on my website. I'll still be shipping a lot of those jobs out. Like if I don't feel comfortable with them, I'll probably just redirect people to other people. I better hope these are you. Yep, 1608s. Okay. Hey, Chris. Oh, man. The bird's going nuts. I will point out that for as much as you guys are freezing over in the United States and parts of Europe, we are absolutely boiling over here in Australia. Well, up here I am. That's going to have to get scratched off. It is just absurdly hot here at the moment. Last night around about 2 o'clock it was still too hot for me to... Oh man, why have I got junk on everything? That's what I get for not cleaning my tip after using it. Everything I use I get to clean it up afterwards. Hey, Paulie Lewis. Ah, Joshua. I see you there. Oh man, that ground pad on the left there is... Damn it. I'm always creating more work for myself. Hopefully I don't scratch in too deep. It's like a little more, little more, little more. Too deep. Yeah. And that should about do it. Send some -40 weather to Paul. Yep, now I agree. Frozen pipes down. I found it pretty amusing to see the Niagara Falls turning into a giant snow slushy. It's pretty damn amusing to me for some reason. Alright. Now, because this is the 5C and because these... What are we doing here? Oh yeah, someone hasn't cleaned their board. These are the Vetus ultrafine tweezers from Union Repair. Thought I'd give them a shot. They feel a bit like the tip size is around about that of those exotic titanium blue ones. Okay, I better put these into a proper baggie. Else I am going to forget them and sort of go, what are you guys? Okay. Let's write down. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this Tristar is I'm just going to straight away reball it as a leaded. Those balls look suspiciously redone, which wouldn't surprise me. You watch, it's probably already leaded. How's the focus on that? Hey, ITC. Yeah, they kind of look leaded to me. Given the fact that they're inconsistent, my guess is these are probably leaded. The reason why I wanted to go to leaded is because I am, doing the reball right next to the CPU reflow. But yeah, so I remember about the consistencies all varying. So you reckon? What do you reckon my chances are? This is actually already reballed and leaded. Yeah, that's right. I'd see, like, particularly that one ball on this second row from the bottom, third from the right. It's definitely got that polished, leaded feel. And I'd be very surprised if they... Yeah, it's pretty nice being able to see the various bits of circuitry work in there. Pretty amazing stuff, really. Alright. Now I gotta remember what the orientation is. Where are you? Down here. By the way, this is the Easy Draw program. I'm just trying it out. It works under Wine, under Linux. Okay, so bottom left. Any BGA package which comes with lead solid means one thing that has been, yeah. Yep. Alright, so that's cool. Alright. I'd be very surprised if I could get brand new ones of these anyway. Okay. Alright, let's go drop that into position. Upside down. Yep. So we've got the wrong tip on that. Actually, I think you're also permitted to use leaded for aviation stuff, like even civil aviation, as far as I recall. This is always going to be fun because oh man, don't make me have to hold that bastard. I do not have the level of control in my hands today for that. Just trying to get the flux to run a bit better. You gotta love how surface tension and fluid behaviors and all that just draw it towards the CPU. Alright, we got it. Hey Wayne, MetaMan, I actually did use that as a validation for why I used leaded solder in some of my stuff. It says, technically it's aviation, the stuff is flying. That is not... I've got a bent tip on this, but the nozzle is too long, so it actually cools the air down quite a bit by the time it gets to the outside. Hey, you're not going anywhere. I think I have to go back to my... I really don't know if that reflowed or not. Yeah, Greg M, I saw that. That was pretty decent recovery, that. I'm sure the owner was pretty happy. I mean, what was that, half a Bitcoin or something? So what's that? That's $7,000. Or something like that. Wow. Let's have a look at these balls. I have a feeling it didn't go anywhere. Yeah, not even frickin' close. Got one ball up in there. That's a disaster. Check it out. Yeah. I think that will have to be redone. Unbelievable. Just trying to think the best way I can orientate it. Yeah, I think how I had it was about the best for left-handed. I think I might I think I might change my nozzle back to the one I had. As you can see, so I don't know if you can't see. No, there we go. See how long that nozzle is? That's just way too long. It's a good case of too long is too much sometimes. Let's try this again. Hopefully that's going to sit down without giving us too much grief. And what the hell's going on? That ain't going anywhere. That's just rolling around on the pads. It's not even floating. Taking that off and reballing it. I'd say it's being probably cooked a bit too much. We're going to put that aside. I'm just going to take a fresh one, reball it. First thing is now I've got to blooming well clear the pads out on this. Damn. Yeah, the UV stuff is slightly interfering, but not enough. I can't blame it. I want to blame it, but I can't really blame it. Okay, that should do the trick. It's really more a case of that solder on the balls just didn't seem agreeable. Okay. Should do the trick. Alright. Let's get another Tristar, reball it before we do anything with it. At least then we know it genuinely is leaded solder rather than maybe some cheap nasty mix of God knows what. Should have followed my instincts the first time. It's interesting, it's another one with a similar look. Actually, it's not interesting, it's to be expected. So this crypto is the latest Ponzi scheme? Yeah, well, I mean, for sure there's going to be plenty of people losing out on it at some point. That's unquestionable. But then again, most of life is a Ponzi scheme. Get off. I don't know if it's the lack of sleep or the excessive coffee, but I'm having a real hard time with the shakes today. Could also just be the damn heat. It's probably about the most straightforward Tristar reball that's happened yet. At least since the first beginner's luck attempt. Okay, they are not as fine as I thought they were. These ones are finer, except the bent tip. Give that a reflow. If I can get it off the tip. There we go. Ah, boy. Get out of here, you hair. Well, I'm sorry everybody, this has taken longer than expected, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Yep, don't even know which pin is one. Okay. If that pad's not lifting. Are you lifting, bro? I think that pad's lifting. It has. Or is it just... I think... Can't decide if it's lifting or if it's just an optical illusion. I think it actually... No, I think it's an illusion. Pretty convincing one though. Basically what it is there's a little bit of solder left on it, but it's kind of domed up, slanted up the side. So it makes you think it's lifted, but it's not. From the ashes, with that 6 Plus you're working on, do you ever sort of just consider classifying it as a write-off? Just tell them to get the data off and walk away. Rather than, as you say, going through the probably inevitable situation of fixing something up only to find there's another fault, only to find there's another fault. Oh crap, and I just touched the Tristar. I touched the Tristar. And it did not stay in place. You can see it's already starting to drift off again. Well, I'm glad I don't do iPhone 5 Tristars as a normal job. Can't. It's my landlords. I'm behind the rent. Oop, yep. That's not good. Wayne, why the hell did you smash your Agilent scope? Ow. There's not enough heat getting down there. Knocked her off the bench from pulling a box from above. Screen's gone. Bugger. That's enough to make you cry. Which model was it? No, which... I'm guessing it would be an expensive one no matter what. Hopefully these balls look a bit better. Ow, still sodding hot. Yeah, they look healthy. That's how it should have been the first time. What about this side? Well, they did look healthy. There's a bit of junk there for something. Yeah, I'm willing to accept those. Alright. This camera angle could do some bit of rework here. You guys don't really get to see much. Let's have a look. Nope, that's not gonna work. Oh, you sodding little so-and-so, come on. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens when you mess with things that were already set up. Come on. Ugh. I think I'm already at my extreme there. Yes, I am. You watch, we'll end up basically where we were originally. And we have indeed. Oh well. I'll play around with camera angles a bit later again. Right now you don't really get to see much at all. Blast. Hey TCRS. Let's see. iPhone 5. I need a screen and I need a chassis. I suppose I should see if I'm drawing any insane amounts of current. And we've got our normal 0, so that's a good start. I know, I should probably use a diode test before I do that, rather than making the big risk. No. Oh, well, you chassis suck. I should have a good quality chassis for this phone somewhere. And yet I cannot seem to find it. Oh, story of my life. Oh well, we'll try this dodgy one. Oh yeah, the original fault of this phone was that it just was suffering the classic iPhone 5 Tristar failure, where you would the phone would be fine until the battery got below a certain percent, and then that was it. You couldn't charge it up anymore. Wow, I'm just really not with it today. think I'm going to change my camera back up to the top. Why don't they even have a screen in there for the iPhone 5? It's a joke. Screen for the iPhone 5. What are you? You're 5S. I know I've got screens for the iPhone 5. But the question is, where in my filthy office have I put them? I had this all cleaned up earlier, and as usual, it just sort of degenerated from there. Let's see. Or did I give away all my iPhone 5s? Hope I didn't. I think I might have. I had someone who needed a bunch of iPhone 5 screens to refurbish because they were running low on stock, so I willingly gave them all the ones I had. We might have some luck here. What are you? Yeah, you're looking like a 5, but you look beaten to hell. Oh, we'll try our luck. Make sure it's not corroded. You son of a gun. Yeah, I really think I'm going to put my camera back. Just bear with me while I do this. So get that focus sorted out. Okay, zoom in. Alright, back to that. We'll pan it across so that you don't have crotch cam. Wrong way. There we go. Tilt up a little bit. Alright. Try to work out why this has been reluctant to do what I want. The temperature's really starting to pick up now as we approach 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So after this I'm definitely going to have to escape out of here, go into the delicious air conditioning and hope that we don't have loss of power throughout the day. It only takes around about 15 minutes after loss of power here for the heat to start really creeping back into the house. Primarily it is actually a fault of the design of the house more than it is the weather being so severe. I mean, the weather's bad, but I'm actually going to blame the house first because I've been in other houses in this town during this sort of weather and they do a pretty good job of keeping it cool for at least an hour or so after you lose power. Okay. We've got a boot, so that's a nice change. let's try to get a bit closer in. Put that filthy MacBook elsewhere. Well, it works at least. So we didn't cook the CPU. Interesting to note though that I had the... damn it, didn't hold that on long enough. I had the heat on that CPU a fairly moderate amount and it still was fine. I mean, CPUs do have a lot of heat sink capability and we weren't blowing directly on it. I think the main problem with things like popping balls out usually comes from when you get the PCB, the actual circuit board, cooked up too much. Okay, now in theory, plugging it into here should make this work, or do the loop. And our theory sucks. It's not doing it. That means we haven't solved the Tristar problem. Or what we thought was the Tristar problem. Okay. Which means I'm back at 0. Let's see if it works this way. Yeah, looks like that hasn't actually solved the problem. Paulie, I do tend to agree. I mean, as uncomfortable as it is when it gets really hot, even at 40, 42 degrees, as long as you're in reasonable health, you aren't going to die from it. So it's going to be really unpleasant. You're not going to be able to do much, but you're not going to, cook to death. If you are outside in the sun, you're in an exposed position, then you will suffer heat stroke and you will die from that. But in terms of actual temperature, it's not going to be fatal. Man. This is annoying. I always thought this was a Tristar fault. Maybe it's not. This is where I need my battery simulator again, so I can plug in what would be considered, say, a 0-volt battery or a dead flat battery. Oh well, at least we got to change the iPhone 5 Tristar. Humidity here is... it'll probably get worse in the afternoon, but right now I'd say it's just a typical average, I don't know, 50% or something like that. Heat exhaustion a few times to a fast, weak pulse. Yeah, that's not good when you get that far TCRS. We get a lot of guys here, apprentices and things like that in the building, outside labouring type industry, and on a hot day like this, if they've just come to work, particularly in the mines, they frequently can get a little bit too zealous. They want to show that they're tough, well, not tough, but they want to show that they can do the work and everything like that, and they go, and the next minute they just drop off, just hit the ground because they've taken it too far. It used to be really bad with people doing roofing. I don't know why, but for some reason people do roofing in the summer here, which is like the stupidest thing, because our winters are very much like during the day it's 25 to 26 degrees or whatever, So it's the perfect, and there's no rain in our winter here. So it's the perfect time to do things like house roofing and whatnot. But for some reason, no, everybody leaves it till summer, when we do have cyclones, we do have rain, we do have extreme heat, and people get up there on the roof, and we have metal roofs, like sheet reflective metal, tin, steel, and you're up there for 10 minutes, and that reflective heat you'll drop off. Got it while building houses in Arizona. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, I don't know. I'm going to have to find a seemingly dead battery to test this properly. I mean, the behavior it had was very much classic iPhone Tristar fault. Would get to would shut down too far, and then you'd try to charge it up, and it'd say, "Sorry, I'm not going to charge," and that'd be the end of it. I'd have to pop open the phone, give it a bit of a charge boost, and then it'd be running again. But I would have genuinely thought that these should boot loop when you plug in the... Oh, here we go. Now I've got some... That was weird. When I plugged that in, it was started out about 25 milliamp, then dropped off to about 5, and then dropped out. And now it won't do that anymore. That was weird. Hey, London Watkins. Wet and about 8 degrees centigrade. It's actually pretty tolerable. Okay, the wetness isn't. Thailand, 34, 80% humidity. Yeah, we're 38 at the moment, and it's gonna... We should be getting thunderstorms this afternoon. Douglas in Arizona, there are a couple of weeks of 40 to 47, the humidity is low. Yeah, that's kind of like over in Saudi Arabia. The temperature, according to the thermometer, is absurd. It's pushing up to the 50, but because it's so bone dry, you really don't feel it as much. You just get that sort of cool, prickly sweat effect. Alright, well, I don't have a proper battery to test this with. So all I can do with this is leave it connected, wait for it to discharge, and then try testing it then. That's a bit frustrating. I was hoping for a proper test. I'll check to see what iOS version this is, but as far as I know, they should all boot loop unless someone wants to correct me. Like if you leave the battery out, you plug in the lightning port, it should show up the Apple logo but cycle around. Unless someone else wants to correct me on that. I'm checking the iOS version. Come on. Yeah, whatever. Come on. Back. I mean, everything else seems to work fine. We are running 9.3.2. And it looks like I've moved my screen slightly. Looks like I've lost my 5v7 line. Nope, something else is going on here, but that's not good. I think it could be the bad screen. I'll try with another one. Stuff just started heating up around here. That was the Sage touch controller getting all upset. Where was that other 5 screen I saw? Here we go. Yeah, Chris, the 5. It sees the charger, it charges the battery, but the main original fault it came in for was the sort of classic, the battery gets too low, it won't charge anymore. And so I thought, alright, okay, well, that could be the Tristar. But I always thought one of the tests was that you plug in the lightning cable and it should boot loop with the Apple logo. Oh, that's a completely fecked up screen. Whoops. That's no good at all. That goes in the rubbish. No, rubbish. I'll go get a new screen. Oh, hey, Micro.
You okay, Bubba?
Well, it's very nice and cool outside. Oh, I should say, when I say outside, I mean outside of this office. Stinking hot in here. Manually loop when using my amp meter test board. Normal charger normally won't work. What amp are you drawing? Well, let's see, Chris. It looked normal to me when the normal battery was in. It's like I'm getting 700 milliamp draw at the moment for a charge, which seems pretty good to me. So I'd say this battery is perhaps 60-70% done. So let's see if we can get that up. Yeah, actually this battery is at about 70%, I think. I always forget where on earth the battery percentage setting is. Under battery. What doesn't help is the way they move it around. Yeah, we're at 65% on the battery. We're doing 720, 730 draw for the charge. Let's see, turn off that. And yeah, we're at 650 now with the screen off. So it's certainly charging. But it was a case of when the battery completely flattened out, that when you plug in the charger, it no longer boots up. So all I can do is let this run until it drops the battery down to nearly 0. Let's see what happens. Now the problem is just that it won't boot charge, or it won't start charging anymore. Well, it stops charging if the battery gets too low. So, and then you have to go and put a bit of extra charge into the battery manually, and then it all works again properly. jump the battery MOSFET to see if it will charge. Let's have a look. Hey PV Henry. No, I don't have a dead battery. That's the problem. Of all the batteries I have, I'm amazed I don't have a dead iPhone 5 battery. Actually, let me have a look over here. I might have one. This is why I should get myself a battery simulator. Because at least with the battery simulator, you can do that. But of course, they're only about $3,000. Let's try this one, I don't know. From the ashes, best to stop charging if you want to deplete it. Really? Sounds counterintuitive to me. Blame Chris. I was trying to demonstrate something to Chris. Why the hell did I disconnect the screen? This public notice here. This heat is cooking my brains. I've got a touchscreen laptop to fix up. Got to put new glass on the front, and I've put the new hinges in. There was one from the other week. I'm not doing that until it gets cooler. I'm not even going to go near it. I got all my tape as well from Union Repair. Big pile of different tapes. Yeah, that one's booting fine too. Chris, I'm actually ahead of you on that one. I've got a proper discharge rig around here somewhere. If I can find it. God damn. Oh, and this is where my test screen and chassis are. Idiot. Alright. As I said, if I can find it. It's got to be in here somewhere. Including the discharge unit. I've become less than organised. I mean, I'm bad to start with, but this is particularly bad right now. Alright. Found the connector board, that's a start. But now I've got to get my discharger. So we'll plug our 5 in. Oh, for God's sake, connect properly. Got that. And now our discharger. Where are you, discharger? Clearly not there. Not there. Come on, I only had you the other day. I should just plug in one of those stupid fans that people destroy their phones with. Speaking of which, I was looking at the layout of the Tristar and things like that, and I was trying to work out why in particular fans have a bad habit of destroying the Tristars, like, you know, when you plug in those accessory fans. And I'm fairly sure if someone pulls apart one of those fans, we will find that they do not have they probably don't have a flyback diode on the rails. And without the flyback diode on there, what happens is as soon as that fan stops, it causes the coil to obviously the charge in the coil, magnetic field, to break down, which causes a nice little back EMF effect of a few thousand volts. So I'll be curious if someone can get one of those fans, pull it apart and let me know. I'm fairly sure there won't be a back EMF diode on it. Ah, here we go. Alright, here we go. This is my discharger. It's my blind discharger. It doesn't even bother to check voltage. There we go. Now that should start getting pretty warm. Yep, that's getting warm. I could also use this one. This is my voltage threshold, but it's already at 3.8 volts, so let's see. It's not going to really stick around for long, that one. Right. We'd actually be better off discharging this battery because it's only at 8%. Oh, okay, Spectator, didn't see you there. Chris, if I'm lucky today, later on I will get that's weird. This one's only drawing 40 million. I'll get my 5C PMIC today, and I can finally see if my underfilled 5C PMIC cleanup was a disaster or not. Okay, this needs to be swapped out to the blind discharger. We will take this down to about 2. You want to get to around about 2.8 volts before it causes the iPhones to give up on them. Alright, will do. Alright, well I'm going to leave it like that. The temperature is just getting too insane in here at the moment. There's no airflow either, so I'm starting to really suffer. So I'm going to leave this. This will probably take about half hour and it should be done, and I'll try it again. I'll let you know, Chris. Alright, thank you everyone for sticking around. At least we did manage to put the Tristar back on without destroying it, but it seems like we may or may not have another issue, so I'll let you know. Until next time, I'll see you later.